year is 2011. You're waiting for Modern Warfare 3 to come out at fall, and you live nowhere near Toys R Us, so the chances of you getting CardClasher are 0. But it re-released in 2018, and you got it there. Wow. And it's coming back again. Let's talk about CardClasher and whether or not it's worth it in the current year. Okay, so I was looking at the CardClasher and I found this old rumor post from when they released it, April 2011. It's April right now, so it's kind of fitting that they would re-release it in April, but they're probably going to miss that window considering it hasn't come out and it's basically the end of April. Also, apparently you could order it on Hero Mart if you lived outside the US and only outside the US. If you lived in the US, you had to go to a Toys R Us to get it on the initial release of the class, which is interesting. I don't know how widespread Toys R Us is. There's only a couple I've ever seen in Canada, but I think they're separate chains as well. I think Toys R Us is still a thing in Canada, but closed down in the US. Now, that's how old this class is. The store it was being sold in went bankrupt, and the game is still going. Isn't that amazing? This design post also goes over a couple of the abilities that aren't even explained in the game, like how tapping works with the different cards. So when you're using the class, you deal out cards with your win skill, and there'll be 3 different cards. One will do more damage, and it makes it so your card they'll decrease damage dealt from the enemy. The second one will shield you, and it makes it so they take more damage and you take less. And the third one will give you an HOT and the enemy a DOT. So that's what 3 cards will do very quickly. It costs 25 mana, 2-second cooldown. And then when you have these effects in play, so once you've dealt cards and tapped on them, you can raise stake. And raising the stakes will make it so those effects are enhanced up to 4 times at max stack. It does take away some HP to raise the stakes, so it is kind of a risk and reward type ability there. Then you have passives that do passive things, of course. And then your 5th skill will take your stacks of raise the stakes, does not consume them, and it deals damage to the target. So pretty simple class once you understand it, but it's got some cool mechanics to it, and it's one of the more interesting, unique classes in the game. Also, apparently, AQWorlds was on TV. If you're in Canada, you can tune in to the show Endgame, 10 p.m. EST. I think there's a clip on YouTube. I think I've seen the clip on YouTube of AQWorlds in that game, or in that show. Tried to look for the clip, could not find it. Avengers Endgame's a thing. And apparently Ricochet made a video of how every enhancement for every class in AQWorlds. There's hundreds of classes. It's only 5 minutes long. Oh, that must be an amazing video. Also, there's Asmongold reacting to AQWorlds up here. So, of course, Asmongold, what hasn't he reacted to? Alright, so this is what my stats look like for this. For the test, just going to be going in with a very simple build, nothing complex. Smite on sword, and then just like base everything other than Forge on cape, and then luck. And then you got NSOD with Poly Roger, so just a very default setup that most players would have. Smite's really easy to get, so nothing too crazy, no endgame farm stuff here, just basic. And I will also compare it to another class using the same setup as well. Last time I used this class was level at 80 was the cap, 85, so been a minute. This class actually has 1 long range ability, which is really nice to tap, which is good. I wish more classes that were physical short range had at least 1 long range ability to help you stay tagging your boss farming. Very nice. So if we hit 2, you can see we got the defense card. So if we hit 3, it will tap on that, and it should be, or maybe I didn't do it fast enough. Wait, 3. So you see it dealt different separate cards. So you gotta be kind of looking and seeing what cards get dealt out. Then we get a damage one for ourselves. So if we tap on that and we double down, we can double down again up to 4 times. 3, 4, and we could also be spamming or 2 as well. We get some heals like that. And then when you see the damage one come up, that's probably when you want to be double downing and stacking it up. But yeah, you can see like you can actually, oh, there we go. Oh no, I'm probably not using it correctly. You could probably get much better use out of it. But you can see how it's interesting, right? Like you get to kind of pick what you want to boost and what you don't, and then you can utilize that boost in unique ways for different fights. It's very cool. Now stats wise, pull up the battle analyzer here. It's not too crazy, but it's not as bad as I expected. To be honest, it is not as bad as I expected. So, could be worse when it is what I'm saying. Like, it's doing 5K. That's not bad. And Smite is probably not the best for this class either. So, keep that in mind. But, yeah, it's alright. Like, roughly 5K. You could probably be getting much better than that with proper enhancements. You could probably get 6, 8K, maybe 8K. Oh, crazy. Actually, probably more. I've been seeing with the new enhancements they've been adding, I've been seeing some crazy numbers people have been doing. If you use pots, of course, that helps. But who uses pots? You know, just crazy people use pots. Not really, but pots are actually they've been coming up. People who used to never use pots in this game, like hardly ever. Like maybe for PvP. Now they seem way more common than they used to be. But yeah, you can see CardClasher here. I don't really, there's not enough visual feedback for this for me to know like what I'm rocking. So it says I'm tapped into a certain thing up here, but so we're tapped into Fortitude 3 times, 1 time, but and we've died. Stop that. So pretty bad amount of healing, pretty I don't know. I think this class could definitely use a rework. Just by the fact that not a rework, but you know, like an adjustment for the current meta, considering it came out in 2011, and I don't think they've adjusted it once since 2011. Like if you look at not the stats overview, but if you look at the class overview, there isn't even a rank 10 passive on the class. That's how old it is, and just that fact alone, they should be updating just that by itself. That point alone should warrant an update. Also, skill art for the 2 last skills, those are both recycled, not unique for the class, and it's a unique class, so it would be nice if that was unique. I could see it having its own unique auto attack as well with an animation. They're not going to do that because way too much work, but they're going to be selling the class again. If I was, my advice is buy it for the cosmetics and don't worry about the class. I think they've already stated that they're not going to be buffing the class. Could be wrong about that, and I'd like to put pressure on them to actually buff it, but I don't think they're going to be buffing this class. I think it's staying in the state it is in a time capsule in 2011. And is that good? In my opinion, it's not good. I don't think it should stay like that. Sometimes they change classes for the worse, even though they're more powerful. They kind of lose a little bit of what they used to be, but I think they could just bump up some of the stats on this and make it so it's like semi-decent. Real fast, just for fun. Same enhancements, everything, but Void High Lord, which is the class that most everyone has these days. And yeah, so same everything, but VHL. And there we go. Yeah, it's not even... Yeah, I know I'm probably wasn't using the CardClasher class, like min-maxing 100% correct, but yeah, 12K, so what, like triple DPS? Single target class on one target. Well, it's not exactly triple, it's a little lower now, but you get what I'm saying. It's a little tiny bit outclassed. I'm not saying that CardClasher needs to be VHL levels, right? Half as good would be nice, you know, instead of a third. Half is good, you know, maybe 66%, 70%, maybe, you know, something like that would be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Anyway, buff CardClasher. Don't buy the class for the class unless they do buff it, and it's cool cosmetics. I bought it I spent $20 on it for the cosmetics, so I can't really say that you shouldn't be doing that. I don't really regret purchasing it years after I purchased it, so if you're thinking about getting it, would recommend actually. Cool cosmetics. Other than that, that's all for this video. I just kind of want to talk about CardClasher. That's about it. Leave a like on it if you like it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'll see you guys all in the next one. If you'd like to see my unboxing of each and every card that comes with the actual physical cards that you get with it. I'll leave a card in the top right of the thing, so click on that or just look for it on YouTube. You'll probably find it, CardClasher unboxing. So yeah, peace.